everyone. Welcome to our town hall meeting. Nora and I wanted to sit down with you guys and just kind of go over everything and see if you have any questions and make sure that we just get everything answered for you guys. So first I want to give you a little background on everything that's been going on and address a few questions that we know have already come up. So the background, our lease was up for renewal at the end of June of this year. And then in about April, we notified our landlord that we wanted to renew. They told us that in order to renew, we would have to do something about the parking issue. I've got notes down here, so I apologize that I'm looking down. But so we notified that we would have to do something about the parking issue to renew. So we did our due diligence to help figure out a solution. We called the parking lots all around, trying to rent parking spots and maybe hire a valet, something like that, and ensure everyone's safety in crossing the street. And every lot around us kind of told us the same thing. They said no, and mainly it's a liability issue for them. And also that they don't have room because they have their own parking issues. So it seems like the entire area kind of is in the same boat with the parking issues. And we still, believe to this day that the parking issue is not entirely our fault, but that doesn't really matter at this point because the building perceives it as our fault. So we kind of have to move forward under that. So we've offered every solution we can think of to the building in regards to finding a way around this whole parking issue. And basically they didn't like any of the solutions that we gave them. And it makes sense. So basically the only way they're going to agree to renew our lease was to limit our parking. And it makes sense from their perspective. We rent 15% of the building. So why should we have more than 15% of the parking lot? So back to the timeline, our lease ended, but no resolution was reached at that time. So we continued to pay rent and allow our lawyers to discuss the issue. And we didn't really hear anything for 3 months.
So this was back in?
That was started back in like April.
Okay.
And we didn't really hear anything for 3 months. So we assumed that they had kind of moved on from that issue, that they realized it wasn't really our fault, or that they realized there was something bigger going on and maybe we're trying to find a solution. So we just continued operation and business as normal, because why else, why pick on something that they're not picking on? And then about 2 weeks ago, they reached out and told us that we needed to solve the problem immediately, like by the end of the week.
Like right now?
Right now. So we had to very quickly make some big changes to the schedule in order to avoid eviction and or a lawsuit. So that's why it all happened so fast, and we know it came very abruptly. It was pretty abrupt for us as well, to hear nothing for 3-4 months, and then suddenly you have to decide by the end of this week. And we were very, very concerned about how that would be perceived by our students, because we never make schedule changes lightly. Like, we don't just change the schedule because we feel like it. We realize how much it affects you guys, and that was a big deal for us to immediately have to change the schedule. So along with their complaints about parking, they mentioned some other issues that they had with us. Specifically, we had people waiting in the hallway and people walking around without shirt, without shoes. And we understand where they're coming from, but those are very easily fixable issues. So
and I'm the first one to walk around without
Same
shoes.
Here. No shoes all the time. I do wear a shirt usually, but I know Adam has already claimed that that's his fault. So we're pretty sure it's mostly the teachers in that respect, and instantly that's fixed. And so as you may have noticed, we did place a sign on our front door. If you get here early, you would have noticed that. That we do need you guys to wait in your cars until 30 minutes before the class starts, when we open the door. And then at that time, come into the studio, because we really just can't have anyone waiting in the hallway. And I think everyone's been pretty respectful of that moving forward. So we're pretty sure those issues are going to resolve themselves. So really it's just this parking thing and having to cap classes that have, hey Chris, that have become a problem. So hopefully you can kind of understand why everything happened so quick. And so I want to get to some of the questions that we've already heard and answer those questions for you. So the first question, can we carpool? We kind of nailed down the answer with our lawyer yesterday. As part of the provisions to regulate our use of the parking lot, they've hired a parking monitor. And that monitor is supposedly going to be standing in the parking lot to audit who is using the spaces. But we also have to turn in attendance sheets. And since we don't clearly see how the monitor is going to determine whose car is whose, we have a feeling that it's going to come down basically to our attendance sheets. So I know that that seems so petty and annoying right now, but we do really need to be careful about sticking to that 14 student limit. I also know that several of our students go to the other doctor's offices around in the area, and then also someone might be coming to PT who has nothing to do with us, might be wearing yoga clothes. So I don't really see the clear definition of how they're going to decide that car belongs to a Fahrenheit student, but that one doesn't. So we want to be really, really careful right now and stick to our 14 person limit.
My attorney also said that maybe in the future, maybe in a few weeks or something, this is something that we could bring up to the landlord, the carpooling kind of proposal.
Yeah.
So right now we're going to just stick with the 14 students and one teacher, and then maybe in a few weeks we'll bring up the carpooling.
Yeah. And kind of let everything settle down a little bit, and then say, hey, what if we carpool and and that kind of stuff. So I've gotten a couple of people ask, what about the church across the street? Well, please rest assured that we have talked to them. We are once again speaking to Bethel, but the main reason they had told us before no was a liability issue. So I don't know that that's going to change anytime soon. But we have opened up conversations with them again. So fingers crossed that something works out there, because that could help us out a lot as well.
Huge
yeah, and thanks to Mike Smith for that connection.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, really appreciate that. At the very least, that could free up a place for the teachers to park, which would mean we could cap the classes at 15, so we get one more student a class, hopefully more than that. The other major question that we've got, and I've got a few more on my list, but the other major question is, where are you moving? And we don't know the answer to that yet, but please know that our priority is to stay in Brentwood. Our family is here, our students are here. We know how disruptive it would be to everyone if we moved outside of the Brentwood area. And our intent in moving is not to find a new yoga audience. Our intent is is to have control over our business, to have control over the parking issues, and be able to provide the best services possible to you guys. So we are not moving because we want to find new students, and we love everyone here, and we plan to stay as close as possible.
I want to kind of discuss a little bit about my vision for the new studio. I'd love to have 2 yoga rooms around the same size as what we have now, one hot room, just like we have now, and a cooler room where we can do yoga kind of around the clock at the same time. I definitely want to expand the locker rooms because we're pretty tight in there. And I'd like to have an office for Rebecca and I. And storage. We need storage. So it's going to be a much better place. We're really excited, and my main priority is staying in Brentwood. So we're excited about it.
Yeah.
I'm on the hunt.
And if you know of any good leads, shoot us an email,
Yes,
info@FahrenheitYogaStudio.com, and we'll look into it. So next question I had, if you do move to a location that I can't work into my schedule, what happens to my membership? And I know this affects a lot of you guys.
Absolutely.
So we are more than happy to work with you on your membership, class package, or whatever other purchases you've made with us. We realize that if we move, it's going to prevent some of you from being able to come to the studio. And, we hate that, but at the same time, we totally respect your decision in whatever that is. So as a side note, our advisors all keep telling us that we can't make everyone happy, but Nora and I don't want to listen to that.
No,
so
we like to try.
we're going to try
our best.
for sure to make everyone happy. But yeah, staying in Brentwood seems like, a no-brainer for us. Please know though that, if it doesn't happen, it's not that we didn't try our damnedest to stay in Brentwood, but that is our priority. That's where we're looking, not really looking anywhere else at the moment.
Especially, Rebecca, when she touched on the fact that we hadn't heard anything from the attorneys for 3 months. During that time, we had our 5-year anniversary, and Rebecca and I are like, what can we do that's special, to let everybody know how much we appreciate their business over the past 5 years. And so that's when we came up with the membership benefits program with the 10 free classes, guest passes, and we'll talk a little bit about that in the next question. But I want, if you signed up for the membership when I kind of announced the membership benefits program, and then I announced this new schedule change abruptly, and it doesn't work for you, come talk to me. We'll figure it out. I want you to be happy. I'm not going to lock you into a membership that does not work for you.
Yeah.
So.
That's later, but okay. So how do I sign up for class? So it's real easy. You can go to the website, MindBody website, which if you're not sure how to get there, you can go to our website, FahrenheitYogaStudio.com. And there is a button that says register. You can click on the register button, and that'll take you to the MindBody website where you can log in and sign up for class. You can also do it through the MindBody app as well, sign up for class. And if you have no idea how to do either of those things, please reach out. My email directly is manager@Fahrenheit Yoga Studio. I also manage monitor info@FahrenheitYogaStudio.com. Either of those works. So log in if you don't know your login info, or if you don't know even how to get to the website, reach out to me. I'll show you how to do that so you can sign up for classes. Yeah, I'm gonna create a video sometime here soon. So we'll have a little tutorial video that we can post on Fahrenheit and send out an email to show you guys how to do all that. Can I register for multiple classes? Yes, but we ask that you do so only if you are certain that you can go to those classes. So just imagine if the same 14 people pre-registered for all of the Friday 7 a.m. class, and then you wanted to go to that class, and so you put yourself on the wait list, and then 10 minutes before someone canceled, that's not really enough notification for you to get into that class. So we want to be fair to everyone. So if you're going to register for multiple classes, I mean, that's okay, but just make sure you cancel your registration as soon as you know that you're not able to attend so someone else can have that spot. This will prevent us from having to do any kind of penalty, and I'll talk about that in a minute, and allowing you guys to get your classes on time.
Chris said something about the MindBody app.
I thought I said that, but yeah, you can sign up through the, oh, thanks Anna. Anna just posted my email in the comments below, so it's manager@FahrenheitYogaStudio.com. You can sign up for classes either through the MindBody app. It's just called MindBody in the what's it called? The Android store, Play Store, and the iPhone app thingy.
I would think it's easier to schedule and cancel on the MindBody app.
Probably, if you're into apps, yeah, cool. So MindBody app or their website. So what if I don't get notified until too late? So that's something we're still trying to figure out. We can set the cancellation to a certain time. So I can set it that you can only cancel 20 minutes before the class is scheduled to start, or an hour before. But that means we would also probably have to enact some sort of penalty for registering for a class and not showing up. And we really don't want to do that. So we're going to try and avoid that. We're going to just be respectful of each other. Keep in mind that we're a community, and our intent is to spread love. And I think if we all keep that in mind and are conscious of that, and the other yogis that might want to practice, I think things will work out fine without having to enact any kind of penalty or anything like that. So for now, no penalty, but please be aware that other people want to come to class too. So sign up, for sure. Don't not sign yourself up for a class, but sign up. And if you know you can't come, go ahead and cancel that. So what if we don't show up to a class? I kind of just answered that. As of right now, there is no penalty. But you can help us make sure there continues to be no penalty by canceling your reservation. If the website or app is too complicated for you to use, call the studio or email, and I will show you how to use that myself. The best time via the phone to reach us is 30 minutes prior to a class. I am not always here. Again, my email's in the comments below, manager@FahrenheitYogaStudio.com. And I'm always happy to, if you shoot me an email and say, hey, Rebecca, I'm totally lost, can you give me a call? I will give you a call as soon as I am able.
And we'll be checking the voicemail periodically.
Yeah. I was going to say, if every single one of you emails me, just know it's going to take longer for me to get back to all of you. But I will. I will call every single one of you. So how does this affect my guest passes? So those of you who are $79 auto debit members,
thank you.
Thanks Annie, she just posted the phone number in the the comments below. So those of you who are members got a 10 class guest pass. So as of right now, we ask that you only use your guest passes during non-capped classes. So that's going to be the 5 a.m., the 6 a.m., the 6 p.m., 7:15 p.m., and 8:30 p.m. But when we get into our new location, we're going to basically reset everyone's guest pass. So if you use all 10 6 p.m. class between now and when we move and have our new location, you get 10 more guest passes. Yes. If you don't use any, that's okay. You still get your 10 guest passes. So basically, we're going to do a reset when we get into our new location. So all members will still get all 10 of their guest passes. So we're just going to ask that you guys please don't use those during the capped classes. So only for the 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 6 p.m., 7:15, and 8:30 classes. And then the last question I have on my list, do new students get a free week? So we have decided to not offer the free week anymore. We really want to keep those 14 spots that we have open to our current students. If new students want to come try the studio, that's great, and we still want them to come try the studio, but we're not offering any incentive and trying to draw them in just yet. we will when we get back into our new space, because we'll have 2 rooms, bigger rooms, more classes, so we will have the availability to have more students. But we're going to hold off on that a little bit and keep the 14 cap to our current students and anyone who is able and wants to pay class.
Also, really, I think this would affect us the most during New Year's resolution time, where we have a bunch of new people that want to come in and try it for a short period of time, and the room gets really crowded. So I really want to protect our existing client base, make sure that you guys have enough room and that you guys get priority.
Yeah.
So Julie Frederick.
Yeah,
Julie.
Hey, Julie.
She mentioned, she said, Cindy mentioned if we know of a space to let Nora know. Is there something in particular you are looking for? Yes. I am looking to purchase a building versus leasing. I definitely want to, like Rebecca said, have control over our space, have control over what goes on in our space and our parking and being able to grow without any kind of restriction. I'm looking for a space, a building that is twice the size of what we have minimum. Right now we have about 3,500 square feet. I'm looking for 6,500 to up to 7,000, 8,000 square feet in Brentwood.
So we'll kind of vamp for a little bit.
And it has to have enough parking.
Yeah, parking.
It has to have enough parking.
No shared parking lots.
No, we don't like to negotiate parking.
We found a beautiful building the other day, but we have to share a parking lot, and we don't want to.
No. Like literally right when we saw that real estate agent, we were like, well, how many parking spots are there? We need to know. And he was like so caught off guard.
Like, what are you guys asking us? Yeah, parking. So do you guys have any questions that we haven't answered yet?
Or anybody on Facebook?
Yeah, we'll kind of vamp like that a little bit just to give you guys on Facebook a chance to ask. I see we got 20 people watching, so hi everyone.
Hi everyone.
Even if it's not your personal question, but it's something that you're like, hey, what about this kind of thing? Feel free to ask us, because we would like to address all of that right now. Oh, Melanie, do you have I'm going to call on you.
Just smiling.
Okay. Do you have any questions? You guys over here thought of anything that we haven't addressed yet? Anything that maybe you've heard from students or anything?
If you can probably go again back to the waiting and the
Clothing, yeah. So just to cover, so that was the voice of Anna, our beautiful spiritual advisor. We love her. She just asked us to go over real quick. So one of the besides the parking, which is kind of the biggest issue we've talked about, the building has also asked that we do wear shirts and shoes when we're outside of our suite. Pertains more so, I think, to the men, but to the ladies as well. When you leave this week, we're put a shirt on. I'm pretty sure that going into winter, this is not going to be as much of a big deal for them. But just remember, put your shirt back on, put your shoes back on, and
we want to flaunt our yoga body.
Yes,
I get your need to want to flaunt your yoga body. We work hard for it. If I didn't have my baby bump, I'd probably be walking around without.
You probably should anyway.
Right?
It's
with
so
my
cute.
baby bump? Okay.
It's so cute. So wear a shirt, wear shoes, and then if you
we'll
arrive,
probably put a note on the front door just to remind, because I know like after class we're all kind of, in our yoga zone, and it's easy to forget. I've had people leave their shoes and just walk out barefoot.
I've done it twice.
Yes.
And then also, if you arrive at the studio more than 30 minutes prior to a class, I know it happens occasionally. If you could wait in your car, please. We cannot have anyone waiting in the lobby. So you wait in your car, and we will get to class. Sorry, I had to turn off a notification on my phone.
How do we go back to
we're still live,
okay.
so we're good. But there we go.
There
we go. So yeah, if you could wait in your car until 30 minutes before class, and then we will open the door to the studio. That would be fantastic.
even going to the bathroom.
Yes, and going to the bathroom if you're kind of, waiting for class and these bathrooms are all being used and you need to use the restroom in the hallway before class starts, if you could just put a shirt on and shoes on, because they're going to be looking at our video surveillance and stuff like that. So I just want to make sure that we don't run into any problems with that.
Yeah.
So, but in our new space, we'll have more bathrooms and more.
Yeah. And you can run around topless all you want.
Yeah, we could go streaking if we wanted to. Naked yoga.
What?
I like it.
I mean, maybe we do a workshop.
Right?
Probably not. I don't think Nora could handle the cleaning.
I don't
know.
No. I would lose it completely.
Anything else that you guys have thought of? Anyone watching have any questions?
Husband over there? No questions from the husband. He's been hearing me talk about this nonstop.
Can you please probably explain a little bit for the new people what is candle like yoga, what is that?
Yes. So we added some new classes to the schedule. Rebecca and I sat down. We also called some students to get some of the students' opinions on times and what would work with their schedule. We added a candlelight class at night. It's one of our latest classes that we added, 8:30 to 9:30. We got a bunch of LED candles that we put around the room, and it's dark and dim, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful energy in the room. So, and have you attended one of those before?
Yes, I have. It's amazing, especially if you want to go straight to bed.
Yeah, it helps you kind of unwind and
a little slower, a little more chill than maybe a morning class. But it's it's 8:30 at night, so
a lot of moms were like, yeah, I can put the kids down and come straight to yoga and then go to bed. So
yeah,
hopefully it'll work with your schedule. Do you want to go over a little bit? Jessica said she loves candlelight yoga, and then Chris, I'd like to say that it's remarkable how open and thank
so
you,
nice, Chris.
I love you. It's important that we stay open and that I don't want to hide anything from you guys. So you can always come and talk to me if you have any questions. You can pull me aside anytime. So.
Yeah, major takeaway, guys. Reach out to us if you have questions.
Absolutely.
My email's in the comments below. manager@FahrenheitYogaStudio.com. You can use that to ask Nora questions too, because I mean she looks at that email all the time, and I forward stuff to her if it's urgent. So
I really want to talk about class times, these new class times that we've come up with, because Rebecca, can you go over the class times again?
Yeah. So we've shifted our classes a little bit. So we have a 5 a.m. class, a 6 a.m., the 7 a.m. So we moved the 8 a.m. to 7 a.m., and I'll explain why in just a second. The 9:30 moved to 9 a.m., so 9 a.m. We have an 11:30 instead of the noon, the 1:15, 4:30 p.m., 6 p.m., 7:15 p.m., and 8:30 p.m. So it's a very, very full schedule. The reason why we ended up having to move that 8 a.m. class to 7 a.m. is because of this whole capped class thing. We can't really have any overlap. Starting a class later than 1:15 didn't really seem to be an option. So to give space between the noon class and the 1:15 class, we had to move that noon earlier. Then to give space between what was the 9:30 and the now 11:30 class, we had to move that a little earlier. So to have a 9 a.m. class, we still couldn't have that 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. class because we would only still be allowed 15 parking spots for both of those classes that overlap. So we had to move that class early enough that it got out before students for the 9 a.m. class started to arrive.
Because part of the terms in the contract that we signed said that we have to have 30 minutes between every class.
So
that was mandatory. That's
kind of why we had to move that 7 a.m. earlier, and we picked 7 a.m. instead of 7:30 a.m. Because it seemed like that would be more reasonable for people with drop off and as well with people who maybe work in the area that have to be at work at 8 or close to 8. To have a 7 to 7:45 class, they hopefully can still shower and get to work. Again, I know that doesn't work if you work downtown, but if you work close by, that could still work for you rather than a 7:30 class.
Right. Like Rebecca said, we don't take changing the schedule lightly at all. I mean, I know that this is something that is a huge deal to everybody. So I want to kind of test out this new schedule for a little bit. I am open to going back to the previous class times. I know a lot of us are concerned about the 8 a.m. Some of us are concerned about the 9:30 changing to 9. We would just have, what would happen is we'd have to push back the 1:15 to like 1:45, right? Or 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we could potentially go back to, I know you don't like me talking about this.
That's fine.
We could potentially go back to.
We just don't like to change the schedule back and forth back and forth because it's confusing for you.
It is, but again, I want it to be the best times for everybody. So if we do need to go back to the 8 a.m., the 9:30, the noon, push back the 1:30 to 2, 1:45 or 2, then we can do that if that's if this new schedule isn't working. Again, we can't make drastic schedule changes based on a few people wanting it to change, but if enough people come to us and express that they really want it to go back, then that's something that we can do. And I want to answer Adrian's question.
I was going to say, and not just like, I love our 8 a.m. class. I'm not picking on you at all. Like, if everyone from the 8 a.m. says, like, we need the 8 a.m. back, but our 9:30 crew wants it to stay at 9, like, we have to kind of figure out what works best overall for everyone. Like I said, we can't make everyone happy. We're still going to try. But so it's not just necessarily like if one class wants to change. like we kind of have to figure it out with the whole schedule working together.
Which is the beauty of us going to a new space where we have 2 yoga rooms where there can literally be a class like around the clock at all times.
Overlapping classes, because they're not overlapping if they're in separate rooms. So Adrian's question about community classes. So I'm pretty sure as soon as we have the new space, we will have community. Can I ask you to Yeah, so we will have community classes. So we officially are going to start our teacher training in April. So this is the first time you guys are hearing that. I was going to send out an email this week, and after Cindy and I actually nailed down the timing of everything. We do have the weekend set up. It starts the first week of April, and we'll be alternating. We'll be alternating Vinyasa and Hot 26 weekends. So they basically start at the same time, 1 weekend apart, and so it'll be a Vinyasa weekend, a Hot 26 weekend, a Vinyasa weekend, a Hot 26. So that starts around April. If things go as quickly as we would like, we will hopefully be in our new space around the same time teacher training ends, and that's the perfect time to have community classes because we have a whole crop of new teachers to teach those classes. So that is kind of like an idea. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. That's just how it's supposed to be. But that's an idea, that we have, and we love the community classes.
They're so important. They're important to the students. And getting new people in the door. It's also important to the teachers that are trying to practice
and also to those of you who maybe are going through whatever financially right now where a yoga membership just isn't possible, and to be able to provide that is so important to us because we want everyone to do yoga. We don't want there to be any barriers to that. So the community classes are super important for us. We can't have them because of the cap right now. It's just looks like we can't really draw new people to the studio with this cap. We want to be fair to our current students, but we do plan to reenact community classes as soon as we are able.
Yes. Thank you, Beth, for your sweet comment. Any other questions or anything you guys want to discuss?
Anything I haven't talked about or anything that you guys missed?
Thank you, Ahmed.
All right.
Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this. If you missed this live, what is it called?
Live video.
Live video. Then just reach out to us via email, reach out to us via calling the studio. We're here at any time to answer
If I can figure out the technology, I'm going to send this to you guys in email as well.
That would be cool.
I just have to figure out how to get to YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
I can do it.
Yeah, all right, cool. Hopefully I'll be able to send this via email out to those of you who aren't on Facebook. Thanks everyone.
And happy birthday to my husband who is turning 32 tomorrow.
Happy birthday, Omar. All right, bye guys.
Bye.